There's no angelic singing of the title, there's no heavenly gaze over all of Springfield. Bart hasn't even started writing little quips onto the chalkboard yet. Simpsons roasting over an open fire, the 1989 premiere of The Simpsons, drops you right into their world. Late to the kids' Christmas pageant, Homer is driving recklessly through the town as Marge urges him to take caution. When they arrive, Homer clumsily tries to take his seat as he walks past everyone making small talk, and Marge is right behind him apologizing for that small talk that he makes. Then, during the school's Santas of Miniland's presentation, Lisa takes center stage as the Santa Claus of the South Seas, demonstrating her love for other cultures and baffling the adults in the audience. Quick side note here, if this episode came out a few years later, I could easily see Lisa protesting the cultural appropriation that came with this show instead of actually being a part of this show representing the South Seas. But that's neither here nor there. Back to this episode, Bart comes on stage and sings his famous variation of Jingle Bells. And finally there's Maggie, a great visual gag as you see her in her star-shaped snow gear, with only her big eyes and trademark pacifier being visible. In this quick 2.5-minute intro, we know exactly who all of these characters are. My name's Josh Taylor, this is 1901, and today I need to talk about the Christmas special premiere episode of The Simpsons and why, after 30 plus years, The Simpsons still matter. It's amazing that Simpsons roasting on an open fire establishes all of these characters so quickly, and it's even more amazing that this episode wasn't even supposed to be the premiere episode of The Simpsons. Because of production delays, the original fall air date ended up getting bumped on Fox to December 17th, making the Christmas episode the obvious new pilot for the series. The actual pilot episode, Some Enchanted Evening, actually gets bumped to being the season 1 finale. To be clear, when I say that there was a production delay, I actually mean it as a pretty big deal. It's been a long time practice in the television animation industry to get some of that work done overseas. So The Simpsons was sent to AKOM, a South Korean animation studio that actually worked on about 200 episodes of the series altogether. Matt Groening and the other creators of The Simpsons were actually trying to do something pretty unique with the show. They wanted the characters to move and interact in a realistic way, which would match the more grounded sitcom style of the show. But in the late 80s, most of the animation styles were molded after Hanna-Barbera, or Warner Brothers, or Disney. This was like Mickey's Noodly Arms, or the rubbery violence of Tom and Jerry, or Wile E. Coyote's penchant for just being squished flat, complete with accordion sounds and everything. So when the first amount of work arrived overseas for Some Enchanted Evening, it looked more like a Saturday morning cartoon than a primetime ready show. 70% of that episode had to be completely rewritten and reanimated. This caused a major delay, and producers were ready to completely pull the series if the second episode was just as bad as the first. The slight improvement in the second episode is all that saved the show from being just a couple of shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show and a few Butterfingers commercials.
Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery Butterfinger.
Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
Even though it was never intended to be the pilot, there are so many signature character moments within this first Christmas episode. Homer exclaims "dough" for the first time.
Ho, ho, dough!
He shudders at the sight of his sister-in-laws.
Hello, Patty. Hello, Selma. How was your trip?
Fine.
And even starts the first of 1,000 different second jobs he's done in the series. Bart even manages to get in trouble at school in a record-breaking 10 seconds of being on screen. And Lisa's full range is on display here, being the agnostic younger sister.
Ow! Quit it.
And she's an overachieving academic. She's an 8-year-old girl that wants nothing more than a pony for Christmas. And she's also the most well-spoken and insightful character in this entire episode. And really, this is probably true for the entire series.
Aside from the fact that he has the same frailties as all human beings, he's the only father I have. Therefore, he is my model of manhood, and my estimation of him will govern the prospects of my adult relationships.
And then there's Marge, clearly tired and stretched thin because of her chaotic family. and yet somehow she still finds ways to support her family at their very best and their very worst. All of the iconic lines and character moments are fantastic, but it's the genuine portrayal of family in this accidental pilot that makes this the best mistake that could have ever happened to The Simpsons altogether. Even though The Simpsons is tame by the standards of the last decade or so, it debuted as a more subversive hit, with a more cynical outlook on life that really resonated with its Gen X audience. Critics were turned off by the crass characters and use of foul language, and they worried that Bart Simpson was a terrible role model. And if those critics were right, if The Simpsons was merely curse words and a jaded worldview, I don't think that the show would have become such a cultural juggernaut. Because at its core, The Simpsons has always been about family, and often in surprisingly touching ways. And right out of the gate, they showed us that in this first Christmas special. Unlike sitcom families of the past, The Simpsons actually struggled with money. Along with shows of the time like Roseanne or Married with Children, there was a push in the late 80s and early 90s to show more realistic portrayals and problems within families. And often there was no guarantee of financial stability. So when Bart uses a clever ruse to get a tattoo...
Wait a minute. How old are you?
21, sir.
The laser removal of that tattoo wipes out all of the money they had for Christmas that year. And just like in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Homer is denied his annual Christmas bonus. Afraid to disappoint his family, he lies about the Christmas bonus and takes up a second job as a mall Santa. And the only person to discover his secret is Bart, who unsurprisingly terrorizes the mall Santa to discover when taking away the beard that it was his father all along. Homer brings Bart in on the idea to save Christmas, but the family is kicked down once again when Homer receives his first check that's only worth $13 because of suit rentals and taxes and lessons on how to be Santa. And that's where The Simpsons tries to find its place among the rest of pop culture Christmas.
If TV has taught me anything, it's that miracles always happen to poor kids at Christmas. It happened to Tiny Tim, it happened to Charlie Brown, it happened to the Smurfs, and it's gonna happen to us.
The family needs a miracle to save Christmas. And Bart is picturing a ghostly interaction, or the power of friendship lighting up a Christmas tree, or, I guess, being blue?
Hey, Grouchy, wanna hear my solo?
I hate solos.
I have to be honest, I don't really get what the Smurfs Christmas special is. But The Simpsons don't get a miracle like that. There's no overwhelming Christmas power or spirit to guide them forward. Instead, there's Barney, giving them the drunkest, saddest long shot ever, betting the tiny paycheck that Homer has at the dog tracks. And instead of betting on the clear favorite winner of that dog race, Homer takes it as a sign that there's a late arrival to the race called Santa's Little Helper. Bart insists it's not a sign, it's just a coincidence. But Homer has a good feeling, and he bets on the dog anyway. And in any other Christmas special or family show, this would have been the moment that saved Christmas, with Santa's Little Helper winning the race. But any other Christmas special or TV show wouldn't have actually put a kid and his father at the dog tracks on Christmas Eve. So against all of the pop culture tropes, the dog they chose comes in dead last. And that leads us to one of the most rock-bottom moments in television history. A son and his father scavenging through the wreckage of the parking lot looking for winning tickets. But it's while they're in the parking lot that they see Santa's Little Helper being chased off by his owner. In that dog, they see a rejected loser with nowhere else to go. In that moment, they see themselves, so with nothing left to do on Christmas Eve, they take the dog home, where a defeated Homer tries to explain to his family how he ruined Christmas. What Homer doesn't realize, though, is a miracle already saved Christmas. The happiness that this little family feels as they welcome Santa's Little Helper into their lives is more important and greater than any Christmas gift could have been from them all. As Marge puts it,
Oh, this is the best gift of all, Homer.
It is?
Yes, something to share our love and frighten prowlers.
and it's in this moment, more than any other time in the entire show's history, that cements The Simpsons as not only a great family show, one that shows compassion and love, even in the weirdest of ways, to make it such an enduring classic. Thanks for watching this video. If you are a first timer here at 1901, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up little icon at the bottom of the video. You can also find a bunch of merchandise down below this video as well if you're watching on your phone or on your computer. I would absolutely love if you checked out a shirt or two. And if you're interested in supporting me in other ways, you can over on Patreon. You can find the link to that as it pops up on the screen here. And until next time, my friends, have a wonderful holiday season and keep moving forward.